It's nice to look at those things in advance and say, well, what would I do once I've identified my potential buyer list? Then what can I do to fit within the investment and acquisition criteria that they've got? There are, to me, three kinds of buyers. The most traditional is a financial buyer who's just looking for something that returns on their investment at a rate that is acceptable to them and their fund. The next would be strategic buyers who are looking to plug a strategic gap or enter a new market that they feel is a strategic opportunity for their company, and they're going to acquire an existing company to get a kind of leapfrog into that. And then there are status buyers who are looking for crown jewels to put in their portfolio because it rounds out some need or desire that they've got. The most desirable buyers to find are status buyers. The only way you're going to find those, though, is to be in the market of whatever company whatever industry your company is in. So if you are trying to sell a company that's in Internet of Things, then you're going to want to be plugged into the Internet of Things industry and find out who are the key players and what seems to be appealing to them, and can you provide them anything that they are saying they want. And if you remember the example way back to the challenge, when we looked at how do you find companies, how do you source companies? And I said, one way is to find a comp to start with and look at the other kinds of companies they're buying. And I forget what the example was. It was a big accounting firm, Deloitte, I think it was. So I said, let's look at Deloitte and see what they're buying. And so we Googled that, and Deloitte had on its page, we're looking for companies that do this, this, and this. So they may be looking at that for status, financial, or strategic, you don't know, but usually if it's the company looking, it's strategic. Status is usually something that's going to appeal to one of the principles of the company. So you'll want to kind of check, once you find your potential buyer list, then you're going to want to kind of stalk them a little bit legally on social media and publications and podcasts and things, and see what they're saying is important to them. And then you might be able to get them a status buy. I know the gentleman that bought Success Magazine, it was a status buy. It was, I want that. I've always wanted that. I grew up reading Success Magazine, and I just thought that it would be so cool if I could acquire that, right? And so you get different reasons that people have for buying. So that's the status buyer. Then the financial buyer is just basically looking, our investment thesis is that we invest in companies in this industry that can have an internal rate of return of 17% per year for us on money invested, and we're looking to exit at 6x. Right now, the deal. Your company either fits that or it doesn't, and if it doesn't, then it's nice to look at those things in advance and say, well, what would I do once I've identified my potential buyer list? Then what can I do to fit within the investment and acquisition criteria that they've got? And you want to do your best to find out what that criteria is. And a lot of times they'll tell you. So if there's a business development or an M&A department, then talking with the people that are in the positions at those departments can be very, very edifying, right? You can just say, hey, so what's your acquisition criteria? And they'll tell you. And then strategic buyers, like I said, is just try to identify gaps that are not covered. So one of the ways that we grow businesses really fast is we do these things called bolt-on businesses. So we look at what's a business unit that we've got that we can look at other people in the market and say they don't have that. So do we have a customer service team that another company that's an up-and-comer doesn't, that we can provide? Do we have a finance team? Do we have some other resource, right, that we can just basically, like, are we good at lead gen and they're not? Are we good at conversions and they're not? Do we have an inside sales team and they don't? Do we have a software dev team and they don't? And then we go to those companies and say, hey, let us take this unit that we've got, which provides this service, and then just kind of bolt it on to what you're already doing for your customers in your business. And then your business will be more profitable, and we have a strategic relationship, and we end up getting a lot of deal flow from that because our acquisition cost is higher than it is to just get a whole bunch of deal flow from them and share profits. So the M&A side of that is when you're looking at potential buyers, you want to look at opportunities where your buyer could bolt what your company already does onto their existing thing and see significant value from it, both in terms of brand and profitability, revenue kind of thing. So that's really the how do I go about identifying who they are?